Good evening, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV, and we're doing a transfer show. And I'm joined by Roly. How are you, Roly?
Feeling positively Champions League. It's been bloody cold today.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so before we get into the show, if you do like what you see, please do smash that like. It does help the channel up the search, and it means new viewers find the channel more easily. So smashing those likes is absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. It only takes a couple of seconds. And if you are brand new to the channel, come and smash that subscribe. It is free to do so. It does help the channel grow. And come and join this great community we have, yeah. And also hitting that bell notification that lets you know when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. If you want to become a member, it's 99p. You can do that by clicking the join button. And if you want to make a donation, you can do that in the chat by clicking the $sign as well. Look, I'm going to go into some comment. I'm going to go into the comments first of all, and then we will then get into the nitty gritty of the show and discuss some targets. That's being mentioned. So let's get into the comments first of all and see who's in the chat. And see what wonderful lot are out there tonight. Right, just bear with me. I just want to say before I before I go on, I know I did have my first one on, and then it went missing, and then it reappeared again. That is because my first one I put on, it did come on as a spelling mistake, and for some reason, it doesn't let you edit it on StreamYard. But when you do edit it via YouTube, it doesn't update it on there. It didn't look right, so I had to cancel that and start again. So I do apologise if people had already liked it and thought, "Oh, hang on, where's that gone?" There's a show being cancelled. It hadn't been cancelled. It was just me having to redo it. That was all. So, yeah, absolutely. Right, let's get into some comments anyway. Gary says, "Hi, Tony and Roly, you okay?" Yeah, I'm absolutely fine, Gary. Absolutely fine, mate. Yeah. Ian Fleming, evening, Tony and Roly. Good evening to you, mate. I hope you're well. Julie says, "Good evening, everyone." Good evening, Julie. Evening, Tony says, "Bia Viking." Good evening to you, Bia. Hope you're well. Mary says, "Hey, all you lovely lot." Hi, Mary. Absolutely fine.
Hi, Mary.
It's a little bit warmer today, but not too warm, is it? Holly says, "Hi, Tony Roly." Good evening to you, Holly. Hope you're very well indeed. She said, Bia says, "Uncle Roly."
Hi there.
Holly says, "What a shame Nick Pope got injured, and I hope he comes back soon." We will talk about Nick Pope very shortly. Trevor says, "How come Haaland never got done?" Yeah, he put a post on, didn't he, about the referee, and he's got away with it. So, not great, is it? Gary says, "Looking like 4 to 5 months." Lee says, "Evening, Tony and Roly and everyone. Still buzzing from Saturday. What a cup draw against the scumbag Sunderland. Absolutely. Do you know what it is? We're going to stuff them." I know some fans have been out there and said, "Oh, but we haven't got our squad at the moment against Sunderland." I don't want to hear that. All I want to know is we're going to go out there. We're going to absolutely fucking stuff Sunderland. We are going to stuff them. And I mean stuff them. And I don't mean 2-0 or 3-0. I'm talking 4-5, maybe 6. And I'll tell you now, when we do go out there and stuff them, we'll ram that 6 in a row back down their throats, and they can keep their mouths shut for the foreseeable future. You know, it's just a shame we haven't played them because they had a double relegation, because they are a shite team, and they are where they are because that's where they deserve to be.
Yeah, I mean, people wondering about the squad. We've been playing with half a squad for the last sort of 6 weeks, and we still keep winning. So why would it? We played pretty much a C team against Man United in the Carabao Cup, and we thrashed them. So
exactly.
Yeah,
But you try
at the end
telling
of
the
the
likes of Bruno and Joe Linton, "Oh, sorry, we're going to rest you against Sunderland." There's no chance they're taking that. They'll want to play.
day. Well,
Believe.
they'll probably want to play, but whether they play or not's a different matter. At the end of the day, Eddie will pick a team that he thinks can beat them. And so you can play loads. I mean, the way we performed against Man City in the Carabao Cup, Man United in the Carabao Cup with kids and people that don't play,
Yeah,
Sunderland
yeah.
should be no problem. Um,
Um,
I'm sure
yeah.
Bruno and Joe Linton will want to play, but it might be a good time to give them a rest, have them on the bench just in case.
Well, apparently a Sunderland fan's been on Twitter saying that they're already going to give Bruno a stick anyway. So let them give Bruno a stick. It's because I'm bloody jealous. That's why. Uh, Mary says shoulders are very complex injuries, so we'll have to see how he does in his best for recovery. Absolutely. Julie
Apparently, he's had it
says
before.
Haaland maybe shouldn't have screamed in the ref's face, but he wasn't wrong. I didn't see the game, Julie, yesterday. And I know it was over something about Jack Grealish went through on goal or something, and then the referee blew the whistle to pull it back for a foul. I don't know I don't know what's went on, so I can't really comment because I haven't seen it. To be fair, Ian McCubbin says, "Evening, folks. Good evening to you, mate. I hope you're well." Trevor says, "Who would you take over, Pope Ramsdale or David De Gea?" We're going to talk about them in a moment, mate. Ref shown bias now, says Julie. Lawrence says, "Evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Lawrence. What do you guys think about the possibility of De Gea or Ramsdale?" Yeah, we're going to get into that, Julie, in just one moment. I'll just quickly go through these comments and then we'll get into it. Put Roly in goal as he's better than both of the keepers lost, says Trevor. Dubs and carries will be fine. Noted to hear, says Jan. Totally agree. We beat Man U. We can beat the Seagull. Bother us as well, says Julie. Lawrence says, "No need for another keeper at the moment. Glad Dubravka stuck around and can step in, and Karius isn't a bad number two." Absolutely. Bruno already playing the derby on FIFA and the FIFA Challenge 24. Trevor says, "Make sure you put bin bags on your feet as shit on the ground, as you not want to get your shoes dirty in Sunderland." Absolutely. De Gea is stupid talk. He's well past his best. Dubravka is way better, says Gary. Lee says, "Our team can beat any team. The way we are playing, we are a force to reckon with. They're playing with their hearts on their sleeves. They know they are each other on the pitch, and full credit to our players." Absolutely there as well, Lee. Right, some bit of news that is being banded around at the moment as well, and it's not transfer news, by the way. This is club news, apparently. Now, it's been cited by a few media outlets putting this out there. Again, how true it is, we do not know. But it concerns this man, Sven Botman. And what they are saying is he is now training with the squad. Now, we don't know how true that is. Again, it could have just been media talk. We know what the papers are like, making up full of shit sometimes. So we will take that with a pinch of salt. But if he is back training with the squad, then that is excellent news, because we know that then he is on the road to recovery, and that will be a welcome boost, I'm sure, in the training ground if he is training with the players. But again, we do not know how true this is. This is just what media reports are saying. So if he is, welcome back, Sven Botman.
Yeah, I mean,
But you
the
might
good
not
thing
get in
about it,
straight away.
I mean, there's no rush to get him back because Lascelles is playing so well. So it's great that he's on his way back, but we're not in the situations where we have been in the past where we would have to rush him back because the replacement isn't good enough. At the beginning of the season, people were worried about if Botman went down, we've only got sort of Lascelles to cover for him. And obviously, we wanted to get a lot of people wanted to get a right centre half in the summer window, but credit where credit due, Jamal Lascelles has been superb. And he's playing like he wants to keep that place his own. And it's just a case of let's make sure that Botman is fully fit. It's not going to break down again. We don't have to rush him back. Depending on how the injury is, you can get him some Botman some match time in the FA Cup, whether it be the third round against the Mackhams or in the fourth round, presuming we get past them.
Roly, there's no such thing. We should get past them. So let's hope we do.
It's a game of football. Everything can happen. I expect us to get past them. There's no reason why we shouldn't. But
I think.
There's no.
I think we will.
Look at last season. We didn't expect to get beat by Sheffield Wednesday, and we did. It's football. Anything could happen. So that's why I say presuming, because if you don't, as I always say, if you don't turn up, you can get beat.
Absolutely. Jan says the only goalkeeper I would get is Trafford. He will be huge. I mean, look, he is a talent, isn't he, James Trafford? And he's having a rough time at Burnley because Burnley are just playing, over. On the news of managers, by the way, it's looking like that Heckingbottom is due to be sacked at any time, with Chris Wilder set to step in. Now, when reports are going around about a manager, that is when it's being put out there that he's expected to be sacked. If I was a manager of a football club and I'm being told I'm expected to be sacked, but I haven't been told officially, but it's all over the newspapers and media outlets, I'd be very disappointed that the club haven't actually approached me. If I was manager, but look, the end of the day, Sheffield United are where they are. They are not a great team. They are absolutely diabolical. We took them apart 8-0. Look, they got beaten by Burnley on Saturday 5-0. That was a 6-pointer for them. And I'm afraid Sheffield United will go down this season, without a doubt. There's no way, even if Chris Wilder comes in, there's no way he can wave a magic wand and say, right, yous are staying up this season. He may prove everybody wrong, but the way I'm looking at it, I can't see them staying up, in all honesty now.
Yeah, I think they're gone. They're by far and away the worst team in the division. They're really poor.
Mad Max says, good evening all. Hope everyone's well. Good evening to you, mate. Oh, yep, absolutely. Gary says he's been on the grass for a while. I don't mind a bit of grass every now and then. Bia says all the people complaining about Pope's feet and wanting Dubravka in are about to get what they wanted. For me, Pope is a clear number one, and we should go for Ramsdale in January. Again, we're going to come into them, mate. We want Botman 100% fully fit before he gets back, says Lee. Absolutely, mate. I know Guy with 3 arms trying to convince him to become a boxer. We'll see how he feels about being a keeper. Trevor says, don't forget the Toon could put out a full team out with the injuries the Toon have got. Yeah, absolutely.
And that would be an
Ramsdale is a fan.
It'd be a really strong side. When you look at our injuries, that team, you'd have Pope in goal. Now the fullbacks could be Target and Manquillo. Centre halves would be Byrne and Botman. Midfield, you've got Anderson, obviously Tonali's band, and Longstaff. And up front, you have Barnes, Wilson, and Murphy. That's a bloody strong side. We can't use any of them.
Mad Max is. Yeah. Ramsdale's a fantastic show. Great keeper and person. Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Tony and Roly says, coffee. Good evening to you, coffee. Lauren says, Heckingbottom's a championship manager, but even Pep would struggle to keep them up. I think he would, wouldn't he? Ramsdale won't want to be a number 2. Absolutely not. He wants to be number 1. Between Dubravka, Karius, De Gea, and Ramsdale, how do these goalkeepers rank according to you? Coffee, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll star that question, and we will come back to that question a bit later on, mate, okay? And everybody's saying hi to everybody else. Right, okay, right. Let's get into this anyway, this transfer show now. I just wanted to speak about that little bit of injury news that was being banded around. Right, okay, so here's the first one on screen now. Now, this has been spoken about today, and it's surrounding David De Gea, who left Manchester United after 12 years of service there. He is 33 years of age now, but that is still young for a goalkeeper, by the way. Now, look, he won Golden Glove last year, keeping 18 clean sheets in the league. He has had his problems at Man United. We know that. But every keeper can go through problems of doing bloopers and things like that. But this guy, on his day, is a great shot stopper on his day. And when he's on his A game, he is a cracking goalkeeper, let's be honest. We know he's on a free, and I've seen a lot of fans today putting out there, yeah, but the wages, you want this because he was on over 350 grand a week. That is why Man United are in the trouble they're in, because they're paying high wages to players that aren't really worth the high wages. But look, it's not what's to say that we don't approach De Gea and we come to some sort of agreement with him on wages. Yes, maybe that's why he hasn't had a club, because his wage demands have been too high. But then who knows? He may be desperate to get back into playing football and thinking, well, do you know what? I'd rather take a wage cut to play football. I mean, he's well off. He doesn't need the money as such. I mean, to me, even if you had to pay him £6 or £7 million worth of wages from now until the summer, it wouldn't affect our FFP at all. In fact, it would help our FFP because we're actually not paying out a transfer fee for him. So in effect, because he's a free agent, plus now he could go straight into the squad as well. And because obviously Tonali's banned, and that's a place there. And obviously now Pope's out as well. And the same Pope could be out till April/May. So we don't know how long he's going to be out for, but he could be out for the whole season. Who knows? It all depends on what happens with his shoulder and if he needs surgery or not. I mean, look, Roly, David De Gea. Look, he's not a bad keeper. We know he's had his problems at Man U, but remember, we know what Eddie Howe's like with players as well. Your thoughts on a short-term deal from now till the end of the season? Would you take him? Yes or no?
I don't think we're going to bring in a keeper. He's been a good keeper. He's not played for 6 months. I agree. We probably want too much money. I don't think he's really an upgrade on Bravka, taken back into consideration. There's a reason that Man United didn't want to keep him. Is that a character issue? That Man United at the moment, their dressing room's toxic. You look at the attitudes, and they've got almost like a cartel of the sort of more senior players that seem to be trying to get Ten Hag sacked. Is that the reason that they let him go?
Apparently, it's because Ten Hag wanted an honour.
Yeah. I mean, he obviously wanted an honour, but why was he so eager to ditch De Gea? I'm not sure.
Well, De Gea probably went because if he knew that they were going to bring in another first choice, he probably thought, well, I'm not playing second fiddle and I'm going to just go, which is fair enough.
I'm not overly anxious to go for him. I think that barring another injury to a goalkeeper, I think we've got two goalkeepers that are good enough to keep us where we need to be. I think
maybe that's what the club's worried about, though, Roly. Because if Dubravka gets an injury, we've only got Karius and then Gillespie, and we don't want to be relying. No disrespect to Gillespie, we don't want to be relying on him.
Yeah, but the thing is, if we do get another injury, he's a free agent, so you can get him at that time.
Again, it's just what's being put out in there by the Daily Mail.
Well, yeah, I
Again,
know
we'll
that.
find out.
I know that. I'm just saying that I'm not so sure that we'll go for a keeper in January. I think we will in the summer, but on a short-term deal, if you can get the money right, is a serviceable option. I don't think I'd put him in as the number one. I think Dubravka has he knows the system, he knows the players. He'll have built the trust with the players in training, whereas De Gea doesn't know anybody at the club. You need to integrate him into the club and Eddie's way of working. I'm not saying that it's not a good goalkeeper. I'm just not sure that we're going to go for one. And if we do, it will be because of another injury. And with De Gea, the good thing with De Gea is he's a free agent. So if we do get a long-term injury to another goalkeeper, we can still bring him in.
Lee says, if we can get a keeper for free, let's go for it. Better for us not splashing the cash and out and saving. Absolutely, Lee. That's the thing.
I mean, that's one thing
Julie
he's got going
says
for him.
he's better than an.
So it's one of the things that he's got going for him. He's a free agent, so there's no transfer fee involved. It's just wages.
Julie says he's better than an honor. Ten Hag was stupid to get rid. There you go. Golden Glove winner, single-handedly gave Man U top 4 last season, says Coffee. Absolutely. Bia says De Gea couldn't come till January as our Champions League and English Premier League squads are declared. Yes, but isn't there a space now? Because obviously with Tonali being banned, he can't play at all. So apparently that's what I've seen put in the written media as well. Because of the Tonali ban, there is actually one place spare now. So
and there
must be something there that.
I mean, in January they'll be able to do it. I'm not so sure that necessarily that they'll be able to change the squad now because the squad's set.
But look, we're in December now, but we could still sign him because he's a free. And okay, he may not play till January. He may not play till January. But what I'm saying is, Roly, you know, we're only 3 weeks away from Christmas. We're 4 weeks from the end of the month now.
Oh yeah.
You know, and the thing is, Roly, what you got to remember is we're not far from the end of the month. So technically, even if he comes in now, for them 3 weeks he can train, he can play in a few practice games behind closed doors, and that way, and that he could even play in the Carabao Cup because you don't have to be registered for that competition. So, you know, as long as he's not cup tied, which he isn't, he can play in the Carabao Cup. So he could technically play against Chelsea. So look, the way you've got to look at it, Roly, is look, he can come in now, he can train, and he can be match ready by the time January comes around, so you can have some good training behind him, integrate with the team, see what the team does, watch games, things like that, play a few practice games behind closed doors. And this is what I'm saying, Roly, you've got that few weeks window now because it's not far till January comes around. And who knows? We don't know. It's just what the media have picked up. It could be anything. It could just be the media have plucked to here out the air because he's a free agent and we've lost Nick Pope for probably the season. So that's what's happened then. They've put 2 and 2 together and come up with 5. But again, we will see what happens. If the club go out and sign De Gea, we back the club 100%.
Yeah, and I know what you're saying, Tony. I'm just not sure that we're going to go for another keeper. Say if there's an injury between now, I think with keepers, you can get, because they're obviously their specialist position, you can get an emergency keeper in. So if, for example, to say that, God forbid, Dubs goes down as well, I think even if you set the squad, I think you can still get an emergency keeper in, and that wouldn't be a bad. Yeah, so I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
So I'm not rushing to to get a keeper in.
Coffee says, and on a single hand, he's taken Man U out the top for the season.
Well, he's getting a bit of help from the likes of Rashford.
And he says there's no attitude issues with David De Gea.
Well, fair enough. Well.
There is no issues with David De Gea attitude wise. Mark says Newcastle need a keeper, maybe a young goalkeeper. See, for Bruggen, we should have gone for him from Belgium. Mad Mag says, seems like Eric Ten Hag is the type to single a person out and bully them out and blame them for the shit show he's running. Absolutely, mate. Mad Mag. I mean, the thing is, look, those comments we saw before the game, look, let's be honest, yeah. Eric Ten Hag is out of his depth in the Premier League. He is not a Premier League manager. He is better off in the Dutch league. That's his level. His level is not Premier League. Yes, he finished in the top 4 last season. Yes, he won the Carabao Cup. But he's been found out this season, Ten Hag. How many teams has he beaten the top half this season? None. All the results he's had have been against teams in the bottom half of the table. What does that say about Eric Ten Hag as a manager? If you're supposed to be a top manager, you should be getting results against the top teams if your team is so good. And when you've got the likes of Rashford, who sometimes can be asked to play and sometimes can't be asked, I'm sorry. If you're taking somebody to the Euros as a left winger, you drop Rashford and you take Anthony Gordon, because Rashford is not worthy of an England place at this moment in time. He is not good enough. And I hope Gareth Southgate is seeing these issues with Marcus Rashford and watching his body language on the pitch when he can't be asked. He kept going down on Saturday trying to get fouls because he knew Livramento had the better of him. And because he was stuck on the right wing, he got in a sulk because he wanted to be on the left wing, and he was sulking with Ten Hag and he wasn't happy. The same with Martial, he was sulking as well and whinging in the middle of the pitch, shouting at Ten Hag. You know, no wonder Man U are in such a bloody mess. And the thing is, I couldn't care the mess they're in because I'm absolutely loving this. The fact that we've beaten them 3 times in a row, and now they realise we are here and we are here to stay. And the thing is, the reason we don't over-celebrate, like Eddie Howe says, is because these are games of the norm. These are not against... We do not rate these as top teams. We just say these are normal games. And do you know what? I think that is brilliant management from Eddie Howe. And that's the best way to be as well. Because, look, we are no longer the underdogs now.
Yeah.
We're now at the top table.
There's one thing I'd say. I mean, I think Rashford is good enough, but at the moment his attitude stinks and his application is worse. That's
I wouldn't have him at Newcastle, Roly.
Yeah.
If the club signed Rashford, I would be very disappointed.
He's got the ability at the moment. He just hasn't got the attitude or the commitment that you need to be playing for Newcastle, let alone England. That's why he should be dropped.
The problem with Rashford is he doesn't do it on a regular basis. Yes, he had that run last season where he was scoring for fun. But where's it this season?
That's to do.
If you're a Man United fan and you're sitting, you're sitting in them stands and you're watching him and thinking, well, hang on, you were producing last year, but why aren't you producing this year? What is going on? You've got to look at the manager, you know. If the team are that bad, what Eric Ten Hag needs to say to his team is go in the full time after the match on Saturday and say, right, I've just covered your horses in the media. Now then, the next time you go out there and play football, I want to see an improvement and I want to see this team play better. Because if you go out there and give another shit display, then it makes me look stupid because I've been covering your horses. And that's what he should be saying to them. But whether he's got the balls to do that, I do not know. But as far as I can see, I don't think Ten Hag is cutting it in the Premier League. He's out of his depth. I'm sorry, he is out of his depth.
Last season, Ten Hag just seemed to run into teams at the right times to get to the positions that he wanted, that they managed. Like they met us in the Carabao Cup, at the right time, and it's our first sort of real poor run of form. They got, I mean, you look at last season, they got 6 put past them by Man City, 7 by Liverpool, yet they managed to scrape enough points to finish third. It is the bit like what I call a flat track bully. I don't know if any of you guys are cricketing fans, but flat track bully is a batsman that when he's batting on a pitch where the ball won't spin and it won't swing and it won't bang, so everything's very easy to hit, they'd get loads of run. But whenever they come up against someone that's got a bit of skill or ability and can do those things, they get out quickly. And that's Man United, a flat track bully. Against the teams at the bottom, they can beat them, no problem. Once they face a decent side, they get shown up for what they are.
Foxy says, more than happy with Dubravka for now, but see how he does in the next games. If he struggles, then De Gea is a solid option, but Ramsdale stay well away, lol. Okay, Foxy, I see what you mean. Trevor says, the reason Eric Ten Hag wanted Nonna is he's got a bigger hand to give them a shank, lol. Coffee says, is Carrier staying or going to Italy? Because will Dubravka stay after his loan to Man United? I mean, look, you know, we've got to see how it goes. I mean, the thing is, Dubravka will know Karius is fighting for that spot now as well. So it's not just a fact of Dubravka thinking, oh, well, it's all right, I'll just put the gloves on and I can walk into that first team now and Karius will be the backup. Because that's not the case, because they're going to be pushing each other in training. And Eddie will be watching in training to think, who's my number one on Thursday against Everton? You know? Could Eddie spring a surprise and put Karius in just to wind the Everton fans up with them being ex-Liverpool as well? So who knows? But I think Dubravka will start on Thursday, in all honesty.
Yeah, I think there's a pretty well-defined pecking order in the goalkeepers. Pope's is number 1, Dubravka 2, Karius 3.
Coffee says Arsenal won 350 million for Ramsdale. Don't want to do business with them.
350 million? That's more than our owner paid for the club.
That's more than the FMV, fair market value. Lee says he'll come and play against Man U and stick it up them. Do you know what? That would be fantastic. You know, if we did have to hear him, we took him to Old Trafford and he played against Man U and stopped them scoring and saved even a Bruno Fernandes penalty, that would really piss them off, wouldn't it? Well, and that would just be shithousery from us as well.
It's not going to happen, Tony, because when we played Man United, they're probably only going to have 2 shots on target in the game like they did on Saturday. It's not going to have anything to do.
Inanna has secretly sent that gift and goals to the opposition teams for joyful celebration, says Coffee. Good way to describe it, yeah, absolutely. Ramsdale would have to ask his dad first. Julie says, yeah, you're right, Tony. Eric Ten Hag is not good enough. Absolutely, he's not. Mad Mag says, Rashford and De Gea kept him in the top 4. Since Rashford fell off the E, done nothing. Yeah. Coffee says, when he said eras come around, he meant Man United's. Southgate will still pick him though. I think we should have all applauded Eric Ten Hag. It couldn't happen to a nicer club. Absolutely. I'm just wondering how long it'll be before Jim Ratcliffe says he's sacked. Coffee says Rashford being paid 300k a week. All the Rebel players are on the highest earners. Yeah, it's just stupidity. Again, that's not how you manage a club. It's mismanagement. Wonder what rage rat-faced teeth Fernandes is on. Don't know, Julie. Hag couldn't run a piss up in the brewery, says Lee. No, he'd probably make a pig's ear of it, wouldn't he? Rashford 300k, Martial 250k, Mount 250k, Sancho 250k, and Anthony 200k. Stupid. And Anthony's not even worth that because to me, I look at him and I think, Almiron's better than you, mate. Casemiro is on borrowed time as well. Only Maguire putting half a shift against us, and they slate him to the high heavens. Absolutely mad, Mag. I mean, Casemiro's out injured, isn't he? Pulled up in that game against us at Old Trafford. Casemiro paying £60 million for a 30-year-old player was a huge risk. And Real Madrid and Florentino Perez must have sat there and he must have been laughing his head off. And he must have got his beer and said, "Cheers, Man United. Thanks for the £60 million for a 30-year-old player. The gift that keeps on giving is the Old Trafford lot. Thank you very much. If we ever sell Modric, you can buy him for 80 million quid when he's 38-year-old. So, you're more than welcome, Man United. The gift that keeps on giving. Florentino Perez must have thought all his Christmases come at once. Coffee says weekly wages. Tony, give me only one reason why we would bring Rashford here. We wouldn't. Maybe to help the kids for the school dinners. Well, that's about it. But no, in all seriousness, I wouldn't want him at the club because I don't think he's got the attitude's not right. And you only want players in that dressing room who've got the correct attitude, and he does not have a great attitude, Rashford. So all in all, I say no to Rashford. I mean, we know Eddie Howe could probably get the best out of him, but when things don't go right, is he going to get into a strop? And that's what you don't want, getting into a strop. So at the end of the day, I say no to Rashford. We don't need him. We've got a better player than Rashford at Newcastle United. His name is Anthony Gordon. He is the best English left winger in this country at this moment in time. And it's about time Southgate took off them red-tinted glasses of Man United and put on some black and white tinted glasses and actually looked through them properly and said, wow, hang on a minute. Look what Anthony Gordon's doing. What a fantastic player. Who is Marcus Rashford? No, sorry, mate, we don't want you. You're not good enough. Anthony Gordon's overtaking you. Because I tell you now, the stats don't lie, Southgate. The stats don't lie. Go and check them for yourself. He probably doesn't watch my channel, but, who knows?
Yeah. I think the thing with the England squad is that it has a group of players that he trusts implicitly, and they're going to get picked. And then it's just the fringes of the squad where other people have to force their way in. So it's the people that we're crying for him to drop, like Maguire, in some cases Rashford. Henderson's another one. I think they're core players that he trusts implicitly, so I really don't believe that he's going to drop them, barring an injury. Though Maguire hadn't been playing, he's been playing recently, and to be honest, he's been one of Man United's better players of late. So I don't see him getting dropped. And all that Anthony Gordon can do is keep on playing like he is, making assists and scoring goals. We can't ignore him forever.
Absolutely.
And we don't know what injuries we're gonna get for England. I mean, there are other wingers that Gordon's battling against. Obviously, got Saka and you've got Grealish, as well as Rashford. I think the other thing with Rashford, you say his attitude's bad, but is that him, or is that just a simple symptom of the malaise at Man United at the moment? Because everyone was saying before Anthony Gordon arrived that we don't want him, his attitude stinks. But you take him out of the cesspit that's Everton, put him into a well-run club with a good dressing room, and you see what happens.
Yeah. Sorry, Roly, I'm just going to have to cut in here. Breaking news. Okay. Breaking news, just been announced that Swansea manager Michael Duff has been sacked after less than 6 months in charge. So the club that Harrison Ashby is currently on loan at, the manager has been sacked, Michael Duffy. So Swansea have decided to show him the door, and are now looking for a new manager. So I just thought I'd share that with everybody. That's news just come through now. Um, I don't know a lot about Michael Duff, maybe a step too far from. Ronald says, well, Ten Hag dropped to here, but on the other hand, he didn't fancy Dubravka neither. Do you know what? When Dubravka went to Man U, I thought it was a strange move. And when he did get a game, he conceded 2 against Stoke City. But a friend of mine who I've had on the channel before, Macy, great girl she is, she never liked Dubravka. She never rated him. So, but I thought, well, he didn't really play for you. So, Mad Max says, wouldn't have any Man U players here, Coffee, not even selling programs. Mad Max says, any Premier League side we are getting hit with the Saudi tax, they're rattled by us now, absolutely. Harris, not under 21s, would make a decent number 3. Yeah, not a bad shout. Do you think the Toon should have kept Darlow, says Trevor? No, I think Darlow wanted to go. And I think it was the right move to get rid of him and get some money for him. So, no, I don't think so. Foxy says, if Man U get rid of Ten Hag, who replaces him? Not really a lot of options out there. Alonso wouldn't take it. The recruitment has been shocking. The only positive is the youth like Mino and Garnacho. Do you know what it is, Foxy? You're right. What manager out there wants the Man United job at this time when it's so toxic with the Glazers staying? You know, the Glazers who are like the fat cockney twat who used to own our club. The Glazers, who wants to work for them? Who, okay, they've got Jim Ratcliffe now on board, but who wants to work for the Glazers? Yes, they might look and think Man U's a big club, but why would they want to go and work in that toxicity? I wouldn't want to work in that toxic atmosphere when things don't go right. The problems with Man United is the club's gone on the decline since Ferguson retired because nobody has been able to take the mantle of Alex Ferguson. The first one that was shown there was Moyes. He didn't last long. The best manager they probably had, let's be honest, probably was Louis van Gaal. Is a guy I've always highly rated as a manager. Because, like I say, I go back to the AZ Alkmaar game when we played at St James's Park. We won 4-2. And the lad next to me said, we've got this game wrapped. We're in the next round now. And I went, I don't think so, mate. And he went, what do you mean? He says, well, we're winning 4-2. I says, yeah. I says, but look at the guy in the dugout, Van Gaal. I says, I wouldn't put it past him for them to get the 2 goals and beat us 2-0 in Alkmaar and we go out on away goals. No, that'll not happen. I says, I'm telling you now, I says, he's a very, very good tactician. I says, and a very good manager and he's very clever. I says, and do you know what happened? We've lost 2-0 in Alkmaar and they went through on the away goals. So, he was probably the best manager they had. Again, another one that was wasted there. But you're right on the players. I mean, Mino, he looks a good player. And Garnacho, look, what a goal he scored against Everton, that overhead kick, and then he scored another good goal against Galatasaray in the Champions League. That's the problem. But Alonso, definitely, Xabi Alonso wouldn't take it because, one, he's ex-Liverpool, and he knows Liverpool hate Man United, and there is no way he's going to take a Man United job on and upset the fans who absolutely adored him at Anfield.
I don't really think that when it comes to those sort of jobs that unless you're actually from that area and supported the club as a kid, it's a job, and they'll go to where they're paid. If he was to get offered the Manchester United job, I wouldn't be surprised if he took it. It's not.
You want it to dance as Coffee.
But one thing I liked about Louis van Gaal, he's a great manager, but he's also had some really good press conferences talking about Man United fans singing Louis van Gaal's Red and White Army in the middle of a press conference. It's such a character. But he was a good manager Julie as well.
Rat face 200. Yeah, he's on 240k a week for whining and diving. Rooney's been spotted in JD trying footy boots on near Old Trafford. Rashford always gets a wobble on. Wouldn't have him no chance. I wish Man U gave me 300k a week contract for taking a stroll in the park. Absolutely, coffee. I'll take a walk around. Trevor says, you know the best thing? Trippier turned the shit United down to play for the Toon, even though they offered more money to play for them. Absolutely, mate. Mark says, Southgate will pick Rashford. Waste of space. Absolutely. I think Ashby's come back to have his in. Yes, he has, Lawrence. He's come back. He's getting his injury assessed. But all I'm saying is, it's the club he's actually on loan at. Swansea who sacked their manager, so that's why I just mentioned that. Coffee says, do you think Ten Hag's getting Southgated since Rashford keeps getting picked for England? Eric Ten Hag must be thinking Rashford is good. Gary says, Grealish must be one of the most overrated players in the Prem. Gordon is 10 times the player he is. Absolutely. You're absolutely spot on. Perfect for Ten Hag. I thought Ashby was a backup here. Yeah, he is. Yeah. I didn't say Ashby was still playing at this, but he is on loan at that club. That's all I'm saying. Because he's still registered on loan there. Grealish has talent, but just too busy being Mr. Piss-Up Playboy. Yeah, absolutely. Rashford, no, this guy's 26 now. One of the experienced players that should be a leader for the club. But he acts like a kid still. Zero maturity on the pitch, zero work rate, zero intelligence, 0 out of 10. Do you know what, Foxy? I absolutely, totally agree with you, mate. You're absolutely spot on with that comment. Radcliffe could be official next week as people will be controlling football and affairs and the Glazers will control the commercial side. Yeah, the Glazers have been looking how much money they're making. Man U got Fergie curse. Trevor says, there you are. Eric Ten Hag's next job is Swansea. Lawrence says, remember Van Gaal's advice on wine and mince pies in December 2015 plus a slip against Arsenal? Yeah. Steve Bruce would be the perfect fit for Man U, the club legend. Worked under a owner like, we'll not mention that name. Coffee, that is swearing on this channel. Sorry, mate. He's got 1,000 Premier League games experience. The fans loved him when he was our manager. Look, do you know what it is? He'd be perfect there because, he would probably take them out of the Premier League as well. Right, okay, so let's get on with these transfers anyway. So, another player that's been linked with us, and that's another goalkeeper, and that is Aaron Ramsdale of Arsenal. Now, Aaron Ramsdale, he on his day is a very good goalkeeper, and we've seen some of the saves he pulls off, and he's pretty good with his feet too as well. Look, he's been out of favour at Arsenal for a little while because of David Raya. He come back against Brentford, and because Raya can't play against his parent club. Some Arsenal fans are baffled why Raya's ahead of Ramsdale because they prefer Ramsdale to Raya. But at the end of the day, Arteta is the manager and he chooses who his number one is. And he thinks at the moment David Raya is the number one keeper for him. Ramsdale, look, the times I've seen him play, to me, the talent's there. Yes, he does have some erratic games sometimes, but all keepers do have these games at times as well. But when he's on his A game, he's probably a top keeper, and nobody gets near him. Probably that's the reason why he's not a number one for England, because he's just not that level to be the England number one. He's 25 years of age now, is Ramsdale as well. I will get some stats for you as well on Ramsdale. When my thing loads. He's got no outstanding weaknesses, but his strengths are he runs out. They're saying he's rated at 34 million euros. He started 5 out of 5 games this season. and he's had 2 clean sheets in those 5 games. Now, if I go to his stats last season, which was his first season at Arsenal, remember the Premier League experience this guy's got as well, second to none. He played all 38 games last season, and in that he kept 14 clean sheets as well. One of them against us when we drew 0-0 down at the Emirates. But look, I mean, he's not a bad keeper. But again, he was at Arsenal. He went there for £28 million from Sheffield United. I don't think he's that bad of a keeper. Again, it might be something I think Eddie's looking down that route eventually. He wants a keeper who can not only save the shots but also be good with his feet, because that's the game now with keepers. You've now got to have keepers who are great with their feet. And as much as we don't like to say it, that is why Southgate picks T-Rex or Pickford, however you want to call him, because not only can he save shots, but he can also be good with his feet. And let's be honest, as much as we slate him because he's a Mackham and everything like that, he actually is quite good with his feet as well, and he can pick a pass. And that's the way it's going with goalkeepers now. Edison's another one at Man City. He does exactly the same. He's great with his feet as well. So, that's the way keepers are going now. Roly, Ramsdale, yes or no for you?
I have concerns about.
Look, before I ask you though, Roly, but the thing is, the reports are saying we want him on loan in January, but they're saying Arsenal will not want to let him go to a rival because they class us as a rival now.
I have concerns about Ramsdale. Decent shot stopper, but the thing that really concerns me is in an interview and said that he can only sort of hold his concentration for 60 minutes. And that's really concerning because a game goes for 90 minutes and you need to be switched on for the whole 90 minutes. I'm wondering whether that's why Arteta's dropped in for Raya, who I don't think's as good a keeper. But if he's got better concentration, that would be the reason why Ramsdale's on the bench, and I'd be very worried about that. As I said before, I don't think we're going to go for a keeper in January. I really don't. Again, with Ramsdale, as you said, I don't think Arsenal would loan him to us. He's still young, especially for a goalkeeper. So if they think that he's got the ability to improve his concentration, he may be one to look at potentially in the summer. But I can't see him coming in January.
Although there is a report going around, apparently he's a big target for Wolves because they reckon Sarr wants to leave Wolves. Jose Sarr. Are you surprised he wants to leave Wolves? Jose Sarr?
No, because I think he can do better. Go to a better club.
But he's 29 now, isn't he, Sarr? So
he's just coming into his prime as a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So
do you rate him, Roly?
Yeah, I do actually. Sarr, I think he's a really good keeper. I'd say it's not as good as Pope, but he is a good keeper. I think that he will go to a bigger club in the summer.
Yeah. Gary says, why has he got a willy in his mouth? Who's got a willy in his mouth? Honestly, some of the comments we get on here, brilliant, aren't they? Right, let's go through some. Mighty Win says, funny how Arsenal, Chelsea, Man U and all the rest play crap. There is another important common denominator. Absolutely, mate. Ronald says, I checked my email on X and on my 380th account, slight exaggeration, and a couple of months back, had my views restricted for calling Southgate donkey face. I must have upset his fans. Yeah, and it's all right for a Mackham to racially abuse one of our players in Alexander Isak, but they get away with it. But you call somebody donkey face and you're getting done for it. The world's gone bad. It stinks. It stinks. Corruption. I'd take Ramsdale at Newcastle, says Lewis. Arteta's head scrambled since the VAR incident, says Julie. Just stick with Dubravka. He'll improve. Everyone like else has already. Yeah, do you know what? I'm happy to stick with Dubravka. I really am. Or Karius, whoever comes in, you know. As I said, like I said last night on the review, Dubravka comes in and he's now got to think to himself, right, I've got that number one spot. Now what I need to do is I need to make sure I nail this spot down and I keep it. And I want to make it as hard as possible when Nick Pope is fit for him to actually walk back into the team. And that's what Dubravka's mindset's got to be now. He's got to make it hard for Nick Pope to say to Nick Pope, you're staying on that bench because I'm staying here on the field in the middle of this goal. You're not getting this place back. You will have to fight me for it. You'll have to wait till I pick up an injury or get a sending off or whatever. But, you know, that's the mindset Dubravka's got to have now. He's got to go in there and nail it down. Like Livermento's going to do with that left-back position, because when Byrne comes back in February, there's no way Byrne's walking back into that team. And Dan Byrne must be sitting there thinking, wow, I've got a big fight on my hands to get back in that team now. Because if Livermento carries on the way he's playing, surely he's another one that has to go to the Euros in the summer. It's not just as a right back, but also as a left back as well, because he's playing absolutely tremendous. Mighty Win says Premier League experience of bottling it. Yeah, absolutely. Julie says Dubravka's better. He gets his run in the team, helps him secure the place at Slovakia. Yeah, he will do anyway. He'll be going there anyway. Could be lined up against I don't know who they got in that group. I didn't understand the mocking of Ramsdale with his fella sticking up for him. You would stick up for your lad. Yeah, you would do, wouldn't you? I think it's because his dad went to the media and was on TalkSport. Foxy says Ramsdale is never on his A game. Strangely, the media have massively hyped him up. Has even said he doesn't have the confidence in himself to be able to concentrate 90 minutes. As a mistake and inexpensive.
Yeah, that's what.
Before that,
that's what worries me about him.
Foxy says also his dad likes to make the news whenever he's not playing, so not need that nonsense at Newcastle. No. Arsenal rattled by us, absolutely. We won't get him anyway because Arsenal won't let him come to us. Their behaviour's worse than Klopp's, absolutely. Andrew, hi mate, hope you're well. He says, fuck's sake, another show. I didn't get notifications, soz lads. No, you're all right, mate. You're all right. You're here now. Coffee says, Arsenal fans meet Liverpool and Man U fans look great. Julie says, although Klopp likes us now at the moment, yeah, until we play them on New Year's Day, and hopefully we'll beat them at Anfield. I also don't get notifications these days. It's not me, Coffee, it's YouTube, mate. Andrew says, to hear shite, never liked him. Hype job. Gary says, Andrew, click the bell. Lee says, Ali McCoy spot on, always behind us. Do you know what? I've actually quite like Ali McCoy's commentary. I think he's absolutely tremendous. He's funny. Mad Mag says, at the end of the day the squad we're playing now hasn't exactly let us down 100%. We'd be terrifying. I wouldn't mind us getting a few wonder kids in from abroad and then loan them out. Yeah, a bit like what Chelsea have done, yeah. Julie says, I nearly missed the FA Cup draw show. It's YouTube, it's a bonehead as usual. Absolutely, Julie. Looks like he's dropped his ice cream. Gaza's father, John, always stuck up for his son. My mate was mocking him about Paul being injured, and when he went, Raji, I apologise and pulled my pal away. Sounds like what Jamal's done. I would like to see Dubravka redeem himself before he hangs up his gloves at Newcastle. I'm still a bit upset that he moved to Man U. Yeah, I think everybody is still. Got you on my headphones. Going to make a massive cup of tea. Who wants one? Do not see you've got one of them SD mugs, have you, Andrew? Because I'll be very disappointed if you got one of those. Because do you know what they're great for? Smashing them if you get into a bad mood, and then you can see, bastard. Mighty Mag says, I worry that Pope will never be back. Does Botman walk straight back in? That's the thing. I mean, look, when Lascelles playing well, does Botman walk back into the team? I think Eddie might ease Botman back in. But again, you know, at the end of the day, the players know their roles. And I'm sure Jamal Lascelles is a realist, and he probably looks at and thinks when Botman comes back, Jamal probably thinks he's got to step out the team and let Botman back in, you know. But then, you know, we've seen it. As soon as somebody's out injured, another player comes in and they step up and they do just as good, if not better. You know, we've seen it with young Lewis Smiley. He stepped into that team. You know, he played in the Cauldron at the Parc des Princes and had a great game. Had a great game again on Saturday. Had a terrific game against Chelsea. You know, that now puts doubt. Does Longstaff walk back into that team? I don't think he does. Because the only way he walks back in is if Eddie wants to protect Miley and not let him get burnt out. But the way Miley's playing at the moment, Longstaff don't get back in that team at the minute.
I think the thing with Miley, with him being such a young kid, I don't think that Eddie would ideally want to play him in so many consecutive games. When Longstaff is fit, I think he comes into the starting lineup and they rotate.
Yeah. Mason's in the chat. He says, good evening. Evening, Mason. Swansea's your second team. Thoughts on Michael Duff being sacked? Harsh or the correct decision? Coffee says, Botman and Share straight back in. Andrew says, no, it's a proper tune mug. Good man, good man. Good man, Andrew. At least it's not one of those SD mugs, like I say. Don't really want to say the store name because I don't want to give them any free advertising. Right. So we've looked at a couple of goalkeepers there that we've been supposedly linked with. Out of the two, Roly, if you were to choose a keeper, De Gea or Ramsdale, who are you going for? I'm going De Gea.
Yeah, so would I. If I have to pick one of the two, it would be De Gea.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right, so another name we are being linked with, and apparently, and this is according to media sources again, so, you know, the media are out there putting their feelers out there and seeing, you know, putting two and two together and coming up with five. So the next person that coming on screen, there he is. And his name is Jonathan Tah. Now, Jonathan Tah plays for Bayer Leverkusen. He's contracted there till 2025. He's a German international, 27 years of age. Right-footed centre-half. Now, 18.7 million euros is his fee. Aerial duels are his strengths. He's got no outstanding weaknesses. He started 12 games a season. He's been in Team of the Week twice. He's got 3 goals as a centre-back. And he's been involved in a team that has had 4 clean sheets, considering this team struggled at the start of the season. And he's got 4 yellow cards. He signed for Leverkusen back in 2015 from Hamburg for 7.5 million euros. I mean, look, you know, just looking at his stats, he seems to be a decent defender. You know, against Dortmund, he got a 6.8, but before that, he got an 8. So he's quite average on his scores. But I mean, he's a German international as well. I'm not saying the German team's brilliant at the minute. Last season he started 28 out of 33, and he got 1 goal as well, and 6 yellow cards all season, and was involved in a team that kept 7 clean sheets last season, in a team that had Moussa Diaby playing for them last season. Look, if we are looking for a right-footed centre back, are we going to go for somebody called like Jonathan Tah, who is 27, or would we not go for somebody a bit younger than that? Because then, you can bring him in and he can be an eventual successor to Share. But again, this guy comes with bags of experience. I don't know an awful lot about him, to be honest, Roly. What are your thoughts on Jonathan Tah?
So I don't know. All I know about him is what you just told me, to be honest.
Yeah.
At the time, if someone was a German international, I think, oh, it's got to be good. But those days have long gone. I mean, I don't know where the links have come from, but I would have thought that we'd get someone that's a bit younger and sort of like a rising star, sort of like a
He's 6'3" as well, Roly.
Well, it's a bit short for a centre half for us, isn't it?
He's a big lad.
It's a bit short for a centre half for us, though. They're all about 6'4", 6'5" hours. I don't know enough about him to really have any sort of objective view on him. His age is sort of coming into his prime. At that age, you'd have thought if he was really good that someone would have snapped him up.
Yeah.
But, I don't know enough about him.
No. That's fair enough, Roly. Yeah. I don't know an awful lot about him either, to be fair. But again, as I say, it's a link. Whether it's right or not, I don't know. If I'm honest with you, and I know this is probably going to sound weird what I'm going to say here, but if I'm honest, there's a centre half that I would definitely go for, although he is left-footed. But you know what? He could come in and do a job for us. He currently plays in the Premier League at the moment. In fact, he plays for the team who we will be facing on Thursday, and that is Jared Branthwaite of Everton. I think he's going to be a cracking defender, and I don't think it'll be long before somebody snaps him up. 21 years of age, he's from Cumbria. I think he's a cracking centre half, and nowhere near his prime yet. And by God, is he going to be a cracking centre half? Too good for Everton, I'm sorry to say. And he will get a move. He will get a move to a bigger club than Everton. Let's be honest. Mason says, correct decision, Tony. It didn't work out, unfortunately. Okay. Lawrence says, if I had to pick one of Ramsdale or De Gea, I'd go De Gea as well. Yeah, he's out injured. Poor Longstaff's going to feel like the guy that shot the good guy when he comes back in, says Gary. Absolutely. Longstaff, not the type to complain either. No, absolutely not. Foxy says, no, I'll take the Leverkusen centre backs. Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah. I don't know a lot about him, Foxy Tar, but a bit old for me, if I'm honest. Can we have Rodgers back, says Mason at Swansea. Ronald says, I honestly believe that Steve Bruce knocked up Matty Longstaff after his blistering start. He did. I mean, look, He got bruised. After he burst onto the scene, he scored the winner against Man United. The lad looked great, and we thought, oh, big things are going to come from him. But the same happened with Sean Longstaff. Bruce just left him to suffer, and he lost 2 years of football under Cabbage. Talking the mighty win. Gary says, who says we're being linked with all these players? There's about 6 a week. That's what I'm saying, Gary. It's coming from everywhere, mate. It's coming from, there's links saying we're looking at Jean-Claire Todibo as well. I would rather have him over Tar, to be fair, because he's younger as well. Yeah. He'll want to come back to a proper team, unlike them in green and white, says Mason. Oh, you're pushing it with Ian. I'm 6'2", and the youngins these days tower above me, says Ronald. Arsenal get linked with every player. Absolutely, that's the thing now we're going to be. In Cappy, Top Sober, and Konasu, I prefer ahead of Tar. All younger with better potential. Yeah, absolutely. Mighty Win says our next signing, particularly anyone we bring in January, needs to be elite already, not promising. Absolutely. No need to be jealous, Mason, says Ian. Just hope Swansea don't go for Cabbage. God. Yeah. I think the Irish are going to have to put up with the Cabbage. Well, do you know what? He'd fit in well with the emerald green, wouldn't he? Because, cabbages are green, aren't they? So the green of Ireland, the cabbage green, it's a match made in heaven, isn't it? So look, it's there, isn't it? The match is there. So yeah, I think that's what it'll be. But yeah, we continually be. I think in January, I think it'll only be loans. If I'm honest with you, I don't think it'll be anybody that comes in unless there's somebody out there that we can get at the right price and we think, okay, we'll go and buy him. Say, for instance, Marcus Leonardo, someone like that, then okay, fair enough, you go out there and you buy him. But other than that, I think it'll be mainly loans.
Who's that?
I can't see.
Guinea striker that we've been linked with. Is it Gussaray?
Who's that?
The Guinea striker. Was playing in Germany. I can't remember which team. I think it's Leverkusen, the striker that scored. He's up there at the top of the score.
This guy, you mean?
Yeah.
Surai Gurusi, who plays for Stuttgart.
Stuttgart, okay, yeah. He's got a similar record to Harry Kane in the Bundesliga. And apparently he's got a 15 million, I'm not sure if it's pound or euro release clause.
Yeah.
If that's the case, that would be
it's a very low release clause.
Yeah, it'd be a tidy piece of business, that. I think if there's something like that in the brand, that will get it, but otherwise it'll be loans.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the other one, which might be interesting.
He started 9 out of 11 games, and he's got... Yeah.
So carry on with the stats on him, Tony.
Yeah, Roly, he started... Yeah. So he started 9 out of 11 games. He's been Team of the Week 3 times. He scored 16 goals and got 1 assist as well. And he's got no cards at all, so he's very well behaved on the pitch as well. His anchor play is his strengths, and he has no weaknesses either. So, and he's just over 6'1", so not bad at all. So the guy's not bad. He knows where the back of the net is. Not a bad shout, I suppose.
I mean, the other one that's interesting is
we'll see what happens.
Breakaway from Everton, because they've got to put in their accounts at the end of the year, and there's speculation that they might be over FFP again, so they could alleviate that by selling rates. And if you could get them for a good price, that would stop them. I know it would help them beat the 9-point deduction, which I'd like them to have, but you're taking one of the best defenders away, so it might help to get them down anyway. But
the thing is,
it's going to be.
I know they've got their appeal in for this 10-point deduction. I think if they won that appeal, then what is the point of FFP and profit and sustainability? Because what is the point of FFP? If they win that appeal, then you may as well scrap FFP because technically it doesn't exist then.
They're appealing against the punishment, not that they're being found guilty, because they admitted that they've broken the rules. Now, I think if it's up to me, I'd increase the points deduction back to 12 because they got leniency. They're saying it's harsh. Well, the rules said you can get up to 12 points. They admitted that they're breaking the rules, so it was reduced to 10. And then you go and appeal the sentence. I'd put it up.
Julie says West Ham also want Garassi and they're looking at Ekiteki. But do you know what it is? As good as the record he's got in Germany, I don't know what he's like as a player, Garassi. Plus, you've got to go back to players like Sebastian Haller. He was banging him in for Eintracht Frankfurt. West Ham took him, and he done sod all for West Ham. He looked very poor. So, I'm not sure. And I think Foxy's has reservations about him as well.
But the thing is, he's not going to be coming in as the main striker. He'll be in the rotation. And when Eddie buys players, they've got to sit on the sidelines for a bit before they're integrated into playing. So, when you're looking at a striker, we're not looking at necessarily a number one striker because we've already got that in Isak. We're looking for someone that can come in so that you can get Isak to go sort of like 60 minutes flat out, then bring someone else on. It's a different style. And then when Wilson's fit, we can rotate between the two coming on to spell Isak.
Yeah. I mean, he will be off to the AFCON as well in January. So there's always that, possibility as well that he may be missing for a while. So,
well, it's not like we haven't done it before. We did it with Papis Cisse.
But again, who knows? Yeah, who knows? Let's delve into some comments. So I know Foxy's got a comment in. Foxy says, Sir How Garassi is the true definition of a purple patch forward. Steve Bruce would love deep fried Mars bars. Julie says a bit like Skamaka, he didn't do much either. No, he didn't. And we were linked with him. When we were linked with Skamaka, I was disappointed when West Ham got him. But when I saw him play for West Ham, I thought, I'm glad we didn't buy him. Because sometimes Italian players do not do well in England, Tonali being the exception. Lawrence says Garassi also goes to AFCON, he does.
I think that's a bit of a misnomer saying that Italian players don't do well in England. Have people forgotten about Gianfranco Zola and Roberto Di Matteo, to name but two, who are superb. Di Canio. There have been quite a few Italians that have done well in the Premier League.
Yeah. Mighty Win says, where there are rules that define the penalties, I've searched everywhere but can't find them. It's arbitrary and down to any panel. Absolutely. And that panel for the punishment for Everton is a minus 10 points. And you know what? I think they were absolutely right. Ronald says, it's bad we didn't see great prospects from the English lesser clubs now, like the Andy Cole's feeling at Arsenal, then got to Bristol City and smashing it. Yeah, absolutely, Ronald. I see what you mean by that. I mean, look, Andy Cole was one hell of a player, without a doubt. Right, one more player I'm going to go to because this link is not going away, and they keep saying this is going to be a January loan deal. So there he is on screen now. And it is Calvin Phillips of Man City. They're saying Man City are open to letting him move. I could see them doing a deal and letting him come to us on loan because we get on very well with City. So Calvin Phillips, yes, he hasn't played a lot, but he is a good defensive midfielder, let's be honest. He's not cut it really at City. I don't think he's really had the chance, if I'm honest. Yes, he has been injured and things like that. Roly, would you take him on loan just till the end of the season?
My concern is the injuries and how he'd cope with getting Eddie Howe fit. I have no doubts about his ability. It would be a low risk signing as well, because if you're only taking him on loan, you get City to pay a portion of his wages as well. It's a low risk.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it will depend on how quickly we're getting the other midfielders back, and whether how much Eddie's prepared to what's the word? Not believe, but to how much exposure he wants to give Louis Miley to the Premier League. When everyone's fit, I don't think we need him.
Yeah. I think it was more for strength and depth, but he is 26. Yeah. He's 28 now, Calvin Phillips. You know, I mean, last season, he started 2 games out of 12. Didn't do a lot last season, did he really? But then it's hard to get in that City team because you've got to be really good to get in that team. You know, if it's a loan option, then yeah, I'm happy with the loan option. But will I buy him completely? Probably not.
I think he's one for the Saudi league.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Julie says I'd take Phillips. Ronald says Pep stays classy like already. Absolutely. Bias says I wouldn't take Phillips. I don't think he can play the dynamic football we already have with G7 for Roughhausen. Man City will want him to go so they can bring in Lucas Paquetá. Mighty Win says a proper DM at Leeds, but Pep reckons he's got an attitude problem. I don't think he's happy at City, says Splat. Shit on his boyhood club to sit on the bench. Yeah. A bit of squad depth would help us out a lot, says Julie. That's what I'm thinking as well. Gary says we don't need our rivals cast-offs, we need better. That's true enough as well, Gary, you know. But again, it's just one that's not going away. But, you know, we've had this before. Look, we were after Madison, and then we all of a sudden went into Bosley, and what happened to them? They went off track and we went elsewhere. So it could be a smokescreen, you know. And the thing is, our club don't announce that stuff in public now. I think the club learned a lesson after the Unai Emery debacle as well, when he was supposed to be coming into the club, only for him to turn around and sign a deal after the Champions League match for Villarreal to say, no, I'm staying. You know, me, and then that's how we got Eddie Howe. So, look, even Eddie Howe's admitted that in the press conference before. He did say he thought Emery was getting the job. And he says, I thought, oh, okay, I've lost out on this now. You know, I've had my interview, but I'm not getting it. And good luck to Emery. He said, and then all of a sudden it was like Emery isn't taking the job now. And then he says, I thought to myself, oh, F, it's going to be me, isn't it? So, yeah. And the rest is history, as they say. But look, whoever comes in January, it'll be somebody who can compete in that squad. Minty, I think, leave him on loan at Feyenoord just till the end of the season. Then have a look at him in training. in the summer. And if Eddie thinks in the summer, wow, I'm going to keep this guy here because I want him to play in the Premier League, then that's absolutely fantastic for us. So again, we just have to wait and see. City are stalling with Paqueta due to the betting accusations. So Bosley's the Liverpool fan. Once Liverpool showed interest, he wasn't going anywhere else, says Julie. Absolutely, Julie. With Szoboszlai as well. Were we ever really in for Madison Szoboszlai? That's the thing, Ronald. That's what I'm saying. I don't think we were. Splat says, I think Eddie plays his cards very close to his chest with these players. Yes, he does. Absolutely, 100%. So, yeah. I mean, look, we've looked at a few players. We've seen we've been linked with David De Gea. Again, we'll wait and see what happens. There's only a few more weeks now till the January window opens. It's the 4th of December now. So 28 days time, so 4 weeks time, the window opens 4 weeks today. So again, we'll wait and see. But what's to say that the club haven't already made deals and they're not announced until January? Because technically, outside the transfer window, you can still do deals, but you can't actually announce them until that window opens. So who knows? Lee says, not bother with who comes in for Eddie's signings, he knows best. Gary says they're probably closing down the deals already for the Jan window. Absolutely. Sunderland have sacked Mowbray.
What?
Soon be Christmas. Have they sacked Mowbray? Have they? Are you sure? Where have you heard that? Where have you heard that, Mason? Have they really sacked him, have they? Oh. If they have, that's... Julie says right before the derby. Again, Sunderland is the gift that keeps on fucking giving. Lovely. Sad Mackham bastards. Mackhams have wanted him out for so long. Well, he is an ex-Borough player.
Has he definitely been sacked?
Is it? Mason says, just been announced. Well, there's nothing on Sky yet, Mason. That's unreal if he has been sacked. That's unreal. It's just Sunderland, the gift that keeps on giving, isn't it? Yes, it's just been put out there by Sunderland on their Twitter page. Sunderland have announced this evening they've parted company with head coach Tony Mowbray. We've got that echo back. So Tony Mowbray has left Sunderland. They have parted company with him. He's an ugly bastard anyway, isn't he? So sorry about that, but oh come on, he is. Look at the state of him, man. Look at the clip of him, man. For God's sake.
They could have the return of the. They could have the return of the king. Cabbage Head could go back.
They can have a Brucey bonus, can't they? The Brucey bonus. Nice to see you. Nice. Is it higher or lower?
Well, they need to go lower.
Keep dancing. Or they might say, keep dancing. But yeah, that's that is just unbelievable, though, isn't it? That that he's gone. Are you surprised, Roly?
To be honest, I couldn't care
there you
less.
go, guys. It's on the screen now. There you go. I mean, look at the clip of that, Roly. Jesus Christ, honestly. If you saw that in your dreams, you'd wake up with a bloody nightmare. Yep, so Sunderland have it this evening, part company with head coach Tony Mowbray. The Mackems just keep on giving. Thank you very much, Sunderland. Thank you. You've just made my night now.
I wonder if they're trying the old trick they used to do before they got relegated, is when they're getting ready to play us, they change the manager.
Maybe Allardyce is going back in.
Oh,
The bitter old bastard, old Sam Allardyce. Have you seen what he's come out and said about Eddie Howe now? About if it goes wrong, Eddie Howe's going to be under pressure. Sam Allardyce is nothing but a bitter old bastard who just needs to fuck off and, just stay away from football. We never liked you at Newcastle United. I didn't want you there. I had to sit in level 7 to watch the game because I knew I'd see the ball more sitting in level 7 than I would if I was sitting lower down. And that man really took the piss when he got his compensation, because he went and had a villa in Spain and called it Casa St. James as taking the piss out of us. And I'm glad he went down with Leeds, because that's 2 teams he's took down now, Leeds and West Brom. So no longer is he the king, the saviour of keeping teams in the Premier League. He's just a sad old sadistic bastard. Sorry, guys. Sorry that was a rant, but I think everybody will agree with me on that. Let's all laugh at Sunderland, says Ronald. Absolutely. Probably scared because they're playing us. Yeah, because Mowbray's out of his depth. Yeah, he's been sacked. Everybody's loving it now, aren't they? I heard they sacked him on Wednesday, but it turned out to be bullshit. They haven't backed him, the divvies. Hashtag Bruce in. Yeah. Big fat Sam. Mowbray had a profile from every angle if you looked from Steve Bruce or Big Sam. Julie laughing. Lee says it's a face with a pig wouldn't lick. Tony Mowbray is Freddy Krueger on acid. When he was born, the midwife slapped his mother, says Gary. He's been linked with Southampton. Well, Southampton haven't sacked the manager. Allardyce has eaten too many pies. They've addled his brain. Willing to bet until Boxing Day to get his replacement, so his second game, the derby, then again, we're under good ownership. Just a coincidence, it's the same day as Sheffield sacked theirs, absolutely. And Swansea. Let's all laugh at Sunderland, says Julie. Big fat Sam was appalling here. I hated him, says Ronald. I did as well. Sam Flapper Dice, says Lee. And Lawrence says, yeah, I suppose Heckingbottom was on the books at Sunderland if they're after him. Yeah, I can't see him going there. Unless they're going to tempt Sean Dyche from Everton. So maybe the owner has asked his mummy if he can have some money to pay off Tony Mowbray to get him out of the club. He's probably gone, Mummy, I need some money because I'm only 10 years old now. I've got to ask you for my pocket money. So can I have some extra money just to say to Tony Mowbray, there's your compensation now, piss off. Do you think, Roly?
Quite possibly.
I'm sorry, but I've just got to take the piss out of them. I can't help it, Roly. I hate them. Hate the Mackems like I hate Man United. Gary says the Mackems certainly seem to know how to prepare for their biggest game. Maybe the Mackems are going after Ten Hag. I hated Sam, hated Bruce, eventually hated Hull, also hated Souness and Dalglish as well. Yeah, I hated Dalglish. He destroyed our team. He brought in the old men of Liverpool, Rush, Barnes. The only one I thought that was decent that came in was Stuart Pearce. Stuart Pearce was a great player for us. He really was. He'll be begging to go back to Borough. says Lee, and Martin O'Neill makes a return, says Ronald. Well, that's interesting. Do you know what's interesting? No, none of the media outlets like so Sunderland have now put out another statement. We would like to thank Tony for the positive contribution he's made throughout the past 2 seasons, alongside his assistant Mark Venus, who also departs. There's actually 360 comments on here, and the Newcastle fans put it on straight away with a picture of Bruce Make It Happen. Another one's put on time to get someone in who knows the club, Steve Bruce. Somebody and the Sunderland fans put on stop this. This is an April's Fool, isn't it? It's not an April's Fool's. It's reality. He's gone. They've put an actual website up as well, and this is on the club website. Sunderland this evening have parted company with head coach Tony Mowbray. The club would like to thank Tony for the positive contribution he's made throughout the past 2 seasons, alongside with his assistant Mark Venus. Both will always be welcome back at the stadium light. We wish them well for the future. Sporting director Christian Speakman commented, all SAFC have thoroughly enjoyed working with Tony, and he is quite rightly held in high regard by our players and staff and our supporters. After arriving at an uncertain time, he helped guide us to the Sky Bet Championship playoffs and played an important role. This was a difficult decision to make, but we remain loyal to our ambition, our strategy, and felt now was the right moment to take this step. We are now focused on identifying the right candidate, and we will continue to support our coaching team and players throughout the interim period. Chairman Kirill Louis Dreyfus added, I had to ask my mammy. No, he didn't. He said, I would like to place on record my gratitude to Tony for his hard work and commitment to Sunderland and a place where he'd always be welcome. As custodians of our great club, we believe in our long-term strategy that we will hope to be ensure sustainability and success for Sunderland Association Football Club. Central to that approach, we need a relentless demand for a high-performance culture to be implemented throughout the club and the development of a strong plane of identity. Mike Dodds will lead the teams in the first team while they look for a head coach. So there we go. He says, and the chairman goes on to say, the owner of the club, your continued support will be fundamental because of playing a half-empty stadium. And we look forward to seeing you, as many of you as possible, at the stadium as shite throughout the festive period as we enter 2024. In other words, over the Christmas period, you might only have 1,000 fans in that stadium if you're lucky, because the rest will be on the piss. Or they'll all be down Pennywell and Hendon begging. So it's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? And some of them are thinking it's a fucking wind-up. Idiots. Splat says he will get 30 bob in the pocket of Walker's as compen. Julie says Martin O'Neill's been seen on TalkSport. He's interested in going back to management. Don't forget, Gary Speed was a Kenny Dalglish signing. And Gary Speed was brilliant for us, wasn't he? Absolutely. Fuming, says Ronald. Sunderland, yeah, absolutely. I wonder how they are rolling this hand tonight. I bet they've all stopped on production. Oh, Mowbray's been sacked. Loyal to ambition, a £25 million transfer pot in January. Let's all laugh at Sunderland. Julie says, does he get his free seagull and his compensation package? Nah. Dean and he shift at Nissan. I mean, Roly, sum up your thoughts on this Tony Mowbray being sacked. Good move, or do you think it's a panic move? Or do you think it's just absolutely fucking hilarious because it's the Mackhams?
It's hilarious.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, Roly.
Yeah, it is.
I thought Santa didn't come for a few. I thought Santa Claus wasn't due for a few weeks. Well, you know, looks like Christmas has come early.
Yeah, it's 3 weeks. Maybe he's getting some in a little early.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
that's funny. It's funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Can't believe it though. Do you know what? I'm glad we kept this show going for a little bit longer because we found out about Mowbray getting sacked and
yeah.
couldn't have
It
had it
seems
better. Announcing the sacking of a Sunderland manager on a Newcastle channel. Absolutely fantastic. Doesn't get any fucking better than that, does it?
it's a bit surprising
Doesn't
because
though, Roly, does it?
it's not as if they're struggling at the bottom of the league. So you think, why? I mean, it's a bit like West Brom when they sacked what's that guy? The black manager they had. They sacked him after he took over and kept them in the Premier League, and then they got no, he didn't took over and they
Gary
got
Bennett.
relegated. Not Bennett. No, I can picture his name because he's at Sheffield Wednesday now. No, it's at Huddersfield rather. Because is it
Darren Moore.
Yeah, I think it's Darren Moore. It's at Sheffield Wednesday. Sorry, it's at Huddersfield. He
Yeah.
got them promoted, and then they sacked him. And
Julie says, "Oh, it's always a great source of entertainment, the Mackhams."
yeah, that's true.
Ronald says the season just gets better and better. Gary says, "What a wonderful end to the day." Lee says, "Mowbray and Allardyce on the train looking out the window. One had his arse out the window. They thought they were twins." Oh, God, honestly. Remember Slaven Bilic just being at West Brom as well? Yeah. That might have been before Cabbageed. Matty Wednesday is a bit racist, Roly.
Not at all, because that's how he'd be. I couldn't remember his name, and that's the best description. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I have nothing against people calling me that black guy because it's true.
Gary says they had higher hopes just outside the playoffs places.
It just
Oh, brilliant.
when teams make that sort of decision, they're doing okay. You're only a third of the way through the season. You're in touching distance of where you want to get to, so you sack your manager.
Yeah. You've just had. It's probably because of shit ourselves have gone FA Cup draw against us and thought, oh shit, better get rid of Tony Mowbray because he's not that great. They're worrying about us hammering them. That's why the Roy Keane return, says Lee. I don't think so, Lee. Right, guys. Well, we were going to end the show about 10 minutes ago, but then that news broke, so I thought we'll stay on for a little bit longer because, it's just absolutely fantastic, wasn't it? Anyway, it's been a great show tonight and started with a great show and ended fantastically because we can all laugh at the fucking Mackhams. Yes, let's all laugh at Sunderland. If you have liked what you see and you do like to laugh at the Mackhams, then please do smash that like as well. That really does help the channel. So smash the like if you hate the Mackhams. Also, if you are brand new at the channel, come and smash the subscribe. Come and be part of this great community. And that bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. Sorry, I can't stop laughing because it's just made my fucking night, that has. Absolutely. It's brilliant. The Mackhams are in meltdown because they're running scared because Newcastle are coming to town next month and they are fucking shitting themselves. Because I tell you what, when this man comes in the stadium, he's pointing at them now saying, well, after you now, and we're going to fucking stuff you like a turkey. Right, let's get to some comments before we go. Julie says, no, Roy Keane likes being a pundit. Seagulls and dogs are not a good idea either. It's because Mowbray hasn't been playing a striker. None there, like, is there? Excellent as always, a splat. Being a great show tonight and one laugh. Big thumbs up, everyone. Thank you very much. Julie says, great show as always. Thanks, Julie. They said the reason was because he asked his wages were going into the bank. Take care, everyone. Good night. Good night to you, mate. Mad Mag. Great show, guys. Ian, you must be loving this. That Sunderland have done this as well, mate. I bet you're having a good laugh at home. I feel another 8-0 coming on to a splat. Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. But you know what? I bet our owners are sitting there laughing their heads off. I bet they are. I bet even Eddie House sitting there having a snigger at home. Ronald says, let's all laugh at Sunderland, the Sandmack and bastards. Mighty Mag, Brill show, everyone. Hi, mate. Hope you're well. Yeah, absolutely. And, the gift that keeps on giving is the red and white shite at the stadium is shite, and that is Sunderland. Or if you come from Sunderland, to go, Sunland. Oh, it's been absolutely brilliant. But yeah, oh, God, honestly, got to have a look. I've got to have a look on Twitter later because it's going to be absolutely frigging horrendous. And it's going to be brilliant just to watch the comments. Double figures, if it happens, I'm going to go home for a day and take the piss. 12-0, says Julie. Ian says, I like Tony Mowbray. Tony is a piss. Yeah, I know he played for Celtic. Yes, he did. And he was a good defender, Ian, I must admit. But come on, when there's a manager getting sacked from your rivals, you've got to laugh at that, Ian. That's what I'm saying, mate. But I don't doubt he's a good person. But I think we've just got to laugh at Sunderland, you know. Sunderland, says Julie Chase. Well, oh God, it's been absolutely brilliant tonight, hasn't it? And that's just topped the show off. That's just made the show tonight now even better. So yeah, you know, the gift that keeps on giving. Hang on, Ant Decker got something to say. What you got to say, lads?
Celebrities into the middle of the Australian outback.
And in case you're not familiar with the Australian outback, it's a barren, deeply hostile environment that's barely fit for human habitation.
Yeah, imagine Sunderland, but hotter.
Absolutely, lads. You've got it spot on, Antentech. You've got it spot on, guys. Thank you very much for that. That was so great from them two. Great to have them two on the channel just to come and give their little point on Sunderland. They do it the other way around, absolutely. Ronald says they didn't get we are obsessed with war rivals donuts. Absolutely. And I hope you enjoyed that little clip at the end there. I had to play that. I'm sorry. I just had to. It was just too good not to do. Anyway, remember the future is bright. The future is definitely black and white. And it's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
How are you, the lads?